They ignored me while everyone watched and nobody stepped in to help. I was 15 and new to Riverside High School. My family had moved mid-semester because of my dad's job, which meant walking into established social groups and dynamics I didn't understand. I was anxious but tried to stay optimistic. The first week went okay. People were polite but distant. I sat alone at lunch, which was fine. I figured it would take time to make friends. Then I met a girl named Chelsea in my English class. She seemed friendly and invited me to sit with her group at lunch. Chelsea's table included about 6 other girls. They were popular, the kind who seemed confident and put together in ways I wasn't. I felt lucky to be included. For a few days, things seemed good. They asked me questions about my old school, complimented my shoes, and made me feel welcome. Then something shifted. I'm still not entirely sure what triggered it. Maybe I said something wrong, or maybe they just decided I didn't fit. Either way, by the end of the second week, the atmosphere changed. It started small. When I'd speak, they'd continue their conversations like I hadn't said anything. If I asked a question, I'd get delayed responses or none at all. They'd make plans while I was sitting right there, but wouldn't include me in the invitation. I should have just stopped sitting with them, but I was desperate not to be alone again. So I kept showing up, hoping things would improve. That was my mistake. One day in the cafeteria, I sat down at the table with my tray. Chelsea looked at me and said loudly, "This seat is actually saved." There was nobody else around, no one coming to claim it. I moved to the next seat. She said that one was saved too. I went around the table. Every single seat was apparently saved. The cafeteria was crowded. Other students were definitely watching. I could feel their eyes on me as I stood there holding my lunch tray like an idiot. I waited for someone at the table to laugh or say they were joking. Nobody did. They just stared at me with these blank expressions. I scanned the room for another place to sit. Every table was full. I couldn't go back to sitting alone because there wasn't space. I felt trapped and humiliated. My face burned. My hands were shaking so badly I thought I'd drop my tray. Finally, I just walked out. I went to the bathroom and ate lunch locked in a stall, crying while I forced down a sandwich I couldn't taste. The worst part wasn't just the rejection from Chelsea's group. It was that other people had watched it happen and done nothing. Nobody invited me to their table. Nobody told Chelsea to stop being cruel. They just observed like it was entertainment. I texted my mom during lunch and said I was sick. She picked me up early. I didn't want to go back to school ever again. At home, I broke down completely. I told my parents everything. They were angry and wanted to call the school immediately. I begged them not to. Making it a big deal would only make things worse. My dad suggested I give it a few more days and try to meet different people. My mom wanted me to transfer schools. I felt stuck between their conflicting advice and my own confusion about what to do. The next day, I forced myself to go back. I avoided the cafeteria entirely and ate lunch in the library. A librarian noticed and didn't make me leave even though technically we weren't supposed to eat in there. She pretended not to see me, which was a small kindness I appreciated. After about a week of library lunches, another girl started showing up. Her name was Priya, and she was quiet and kept to herself. We didn't talk at first, just coexisted in the same space. Eventually, she asked if I was new, and we started having actual conversations. Priya introduced me to a few other people who also avoided the cafeteria drama. They weren't popular, but they were genuine and